Back in October, when Bungie first talked about active orders, I'm not gonna lie, fellas, I wasn't really that sold on it. But now that we've gotten our hands on them in the game, I gotta say, man, they're pretty good. Now, for those that are not familiar with what active orders are, you can go and view these in your seasonal hub within the portal. Think of these as like a simplified version of bounties, but not as constraining as bounties. For instance, common orders are supposed to be based on your character's current loadout. Now, I will mention it's not perfect, but for the most part, it does kind of align with what I'm using. But here's the beautiful thing about these orders. You can actually re-roll them. If you have a number of different active orders that are Crucible related, and you're like, dude, I don't want to play Crucible, simply spin Glimmer to re-roll. Now here's the thing, that re-roll cost does increase up to a daily maximum. However, when you complete other common orders, this will reduce the cost of replacing your other orders. Now the drops here are pretty straightforward. You get a common payout for common orders. It'll net you some XP. You even get a little bit of bright dust, but that's not the reason why you want to do these orders. The real reason you want to do these orders is because occasionally, upon completing common orders, a legendary order can pop up, and in some cases, an exotic order. Now, this is where things get juicy. You can even see there at the bottom where it shows, almost like an ammo meter, this legendary meter filling up as you complete these common orders. Now, the reasons why you should care about legendary and exotic orders is because the legendary orders have a chance of rewarding you the new fragile mods. If you remember the mods from last season, arguably the most popular one was Temporal Blast. It put out so much damage. And with certain weapon types, most notably the crossbow or even the machine gun, at the beginning of the season, those weapons were so meta. Now, I have not tested the potency of this season's suite of fragile mods. Hell, I've only gotten one of them. They are not exactly common. But let's go through each one of these real quick. We have Calm Amidst Chaos. After not taking damage for a short duration, this weapon gains significantly increased aim down sight speed, handling, and flinch resist until the next shot is fired. Now, this is obviously a PvP perk, but you can imagine just how potent something like this would be on a variety of weapons, especially things like sniper rifles, pseudo snapshots, and flinch resist. I'll take it, man. Next, we have Kill Shots. Reloading after a final blow loads a high-powered round, causing the next hit to cause improved additional splash damage, strong against barrier champions. Now, this almost seems like a kill-activated Temporal Blast. I'm hoping it's going to be more damage than that, though, considering it is requiring a final blow. Next, we have Opening Salvo. This weapon gains bonus range and deals more flinch at the start of combat for an improved duration, strong against unstoppable champions. Now, listen, this one may be really good for PvP. I mean, more range, more flinch, I'll take it. Next, we have Overpressured Munitions. This weapon gains improved bonus damage against Cabal targets. Now, this actually may be the best mod to be bringing into the new dungeon. I would assume we're going to be dealing with Cabal enemies, but if you remember Temporal Armaments back in Edge of Fate, that fragile mod tacked on a ton of extra damage. Now, Bungie did ban all fragile mods going into the raid in Edge of Fate, but considering how much time we have in preparation for the dungeon, I wouldn't be surprised if they let this ride. Now, our final fragile mod is Stay in the Fight. When your shields are broken, this weapon gains an improved period of increased stability and ammo generation. Now, keep in mind, guys, these mods are only available for this season. However, they can be applied on any tiered weapon in the game, including your tiered weapons from last season. So no, it's not just locked to this season's weapons, which I think is fantastic. Now let's talk about these active orders and how to optimize to get a fragile mod drop. Fellas, when you get an active order that happens to be a legendary tier and you look at its potential rewards, if it says legendary payouts and you're trying to target the fragile mods, you can re-roll this legendary tier and it will remain legendary, and all it will change is the reward and the objective required to complete that order. You can literally see me right here, guys. I re-rolled this Master of Negatives because its potential reward is just a legendary payout. And notice it now requires me to get final blows with auto rifles against combatants or guardians. And its potential rewards is not just a legendary payout, but also a lawless weapon mod payout. Now, it does mention it's still uncommon. So again, guys, it's not guaranteed. This is why, in my opinion, I think you should save your re-rolling for your legendary orders and not waste them too freely on your common ones. For instance, I re-rolled this finally full order right under it, but notice its potential rewards still remain as a legendary payout. And I had to re-roll it a number of times, which as you see there, the glimmer cost greatly increases there. But yes, it finally gave me a lawless weapon mod as a potential reward. Now, doing these objectives are pretty straightforward, guys. Whether it's getting rapid kills with certain weapons, which is not that much, getting precision kills with certain weapons, you can even do these inside of PvP, and even the ones that may require you to achieve a certain grade on a certain level of difficulty. What I really like about this is that it's not telling me to go to a specific activity. It's giving me the freedom to choose whatever I want. You can see it here from Master Negatives. I just have to achieve a B grade or higher on Master difficulty or higher activities with a major negative modifier active. Now, sure, you might have to go play around with the customization a bit, but I love the freedom of choosing whatever it is that I want to go play. And considering it's legendary, it makes sense that the difficulty would be hard. For the time being, though, I know most of us are going to be trying to go for those seasonal mods. And so if you get these legendary orders, just keep re-rolling, guys, until you see a lawless weapon mod payout as a potential reward. Now, when you complete that legendary order, when you go down to claim your reward, you'll see it right there, guys. It'll say lawless weapon mod payout. However, if you don't see that, then GG's. Time to get your weapon drop. Now listen, the weapon drop isn't bad. For me, it's been a tier 5 every single time, and I'm pretty sure this is guaranteed tier 5s. As far as the loot pool though, I do not believe that these legendary active orders overlap in any type of way with the weapon drops from Lawless Frontier. I could be wrong, but at least for the drops that I have gotten, for me, they all seem to be portal related. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk exotic orders. As you're doing these common orders and eventually upgrading to these legendary orders, occasionally, and I mean very occasionally, you will get an exotic order. Now, there's multiple types. Some exotic orders may just have an exotic payout. And big shout out to my folks in our Discord who shared exactly what they got as rewards. For instance, this drop right here was Fellwinter Helmet, a tier 5 version of a Good Shout, which is our new crossbow, and an Ascendant Shard, on top of a chunky amount of Bright Dust and what looks to be a good amount of XP. So definitely worth doing here, guys. You'll get things like Glimmer and some cores. I've seen people get Horus Lease as a drop and a number of other different exotic armor pieces. But the one you really want to be looking for, guys, is the Praxic Professional. This is how you can get the yellow saber for your Praxic Blade. Now, the beautiful thing is just like legendary orders and common orders, you can re-roll these. So if you're trying to target Praxic Professional to get that yellow saber, you can continue to re-roll until you get it. And it'll pop up and say Praxic Professional. And notice the objective states that you need to defeat combatants in a pinnacle ops activity on expert difficulty or higher without dying and while using the Praxic Blade. Now, guys, I have personally not gotten this yet. My RNG has been so fickle, but I'm being told that the best strat is to load up pinnacle ops, select the Whisper mission, and then just farm Shadow Thrall for roughly 400 to 500 kills. And then simply just go back to orbit without finishing the mission. And even though there is a timer, I've been told that it doesn't kick you to orbit, allowing you to sit there and farm out on Shadow Thrall. Now, if you've not done the Whisper mission, guys, you literally just go to this section here, you get past to the Traverso area, you drop down right underneath this platform pretty much, as if you're going to the next area to progress the mission, but you just continue to stay in this area, and Shadow Thrall will spawn indefinitely. And actually, at one time, this was like one of the best places to do so much of our farming when it came to kills, because Shadow Thrall just keep coming out over and over. Now, upon completing Praxic Professional, it'll say right there, as your reward, Dark Matter Crystal Yellow. And that is how you get the yellow blade. Now, from some of the things that you guys posted, for instance, Thomas posted the drops that he got, which included 2 exotic pieces, a tier 5 helmet, a tier 5 duty bound, and the Dark Matter Crystal Yellow. So with all that being said, guys, active orders is definitely worth doing. And they're things we can easily be doing as we're doing other activities, like Lawless Frontier. And if you don't like the objectives, you can always re-roll. Be looking out for those legendary orders though. Re-roll so you can get those seasonal mods. I think they're going to make a huge difference in both PvP and inside of PvE, especially if Bungie lets it ride next weekend going into the dungeon. And maybe throughout this process, you may be fortunate enough to get an exotic active order. Good luck to you guys. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.